Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to whatever this turns out to be. I have spoken in the past about how a shock has just a few basic requirements. Fit the vehicle, have the ability to be tuned, right? You can put oil in it, you can put pistons in it, you can put springs on the outside of it. And perhaps the most importantly, we mentioned it last, but it is the most important, the ability to hold this stuff on the inside. And for whatever reason, this has grown to be something that is apparently bordering on the impossible. For many manufacturers, this is the 3-minute and 45-second mile, not the 4-minute mile. This is the 3:45, where a couple have done it, but most never will. The lion's share of shocks leak either very badly or badly enough for them to not jump up my list of considerations. There is a great, unfortunate shock out there, the Incision Vanquish S8E. They're consistent performers. When you build an S8E on the bench, you've built your VRD Carbon kit or your Phoenix kit or what have you, and you build that shock feels fantastic. And within 2 battery packs, 60% of the oil will be gone. And in Vanquish's Incision, in their divine wisdom, what they did is they made a seal pocket that is both too small around and too shallow to install the seals from any other shock that functions properly. We can fix Vanquish shocks, or we used to be able to before Racing stopped selling the seal rebuild kits for Desert Lizards, because you could just jam a Desert Lizard seal kit into an axial shock and it doesn't leak anymore. Because what it ultimately comes down to is you have to get this from the jump. Traxxas 2660s, big bores, Traxxas GTS. The Traxxas shocks share a thing in common, which is Traxxas X-rings. And the pockets and the shafts that accommodate those X-rings so those shocks just don't leak. We have GTS shocks, TRX4 stock shocks here, and that have been in service for years and have never been touched. And GTS shocks available in the dismantler market are inexpensive. And the same goes for big bores. You can go on Amazon right now and get a pair of big bores for $26. They just don't leak. S8Es do. And Vanquish has known about this, presumably for some long time, and it took them until now to offer the new and updated S8E shock rebuild kit, IRC00507, which is a point of my consternation above and beyond $7.99 to rebuild. $4 per shock to rebuild, and it doesn't even include all of the pieces that you need. Et voila. For frame of reference, TRA 2362, which is the Traxxas rebuild kit for big bores, is $2.50, and it includes everything required to build 2 shocks. So it's $1.25 a shock instead of $4 a shock. Now, here's a major point of consternation. Here is a body from a Vanquish kit, and here is another body from a Vanquish kit. You see, we've got some variants here. You see that seal down in there? You see that little clear boy? Those are the old ones. If you were to look up that part number, do you know what that part number would be? It would be IRC00507. The new seals look like this. They are IRC00507. So if you're ordering them, I wish you good luck and Godspeed, because I doubt that the vendors know which ones they have. So we are going to put a little bit of, we're going to gloop it up with some ProTech O-ring grease, and then we are going to go seal, spacer, seal. This is number 4. I have already built the first 3 because I had something approximating an idea. This little piece right here, that is not included in the rebuild kits. That comes on the parts tree for the rest of the shocks. So in reality, if you want to rebuild them in their completitude, it's going to cost you like $25 to rebuild 4 shocks, which is, I think ultimately unforgivable. That is what that is. But, I've got other S8Es here. How many of the over 50 vehicles in regular service here, how many vehicles in the Canyon fleet, you ask, are fitted with Vanquish S8Es? And the answer to that question is 0. Not a single one. Because they leak an amount of oil that is genuinely concerning. Now, the hard anno bodies, which these are, which is from the carbon kit, the hard anno bodies leak ever so slightly less. And I believe that is because hard anno adds a little bit of thickness, and I think this is a matter of tenths of millimeters is all the difference. So we are going to build all 4 of these. These are completely fresh. Brand new shafts, brand new pistons, brand new seals, brand new bodies. The only part of this operation that has been used in any capacity are the caps. But these are the upgraded alloy caps. The alloy cap, will the alloy cap be advantageous? Well, I think it will in one aspect, and that is our bleeder caps. The bleeder caps work nicely, but because these are metal caps and not plastic, we can properly tighten the bleeder screw down because it gets snug. On the plastic ones, if you put too much gusto on it, you'll just round it out. It's a 2mm screw. You'll strip it out. So what we're going to do, like, these feel so good when you first build them. Fantastic. So it is particularly painful that they leak as badly as they do. So we grab the shock pliers, provided we can find them. And we're going to do a junior hybridization here because we're not going to fit these to a Vanquish vehicle for the day's shock shenanigans. We're going to put an element end on the bottom, which will allow us to install an element spring and cup. This is a gray band element spring. If memory serves, 1.4 pounds per inch. Put that on there. Get that on there. They feel fantastic. They feel fantastic. So it stings ever the more when they cough all their oil up. These are 6-slot pistons with, as you saw, purple Losi 40 weight. And that feels excellent. That feels excellent. But here's the thing. It took them this long to get to where they've actively acknowledged, the new upgraded seal packs. 2 with grays, 2 with element blues, to acknowledge that they do in fact leak, right? So say you have 5 Vanquish rigs. I wouldn't like it either. That's $80 in seals. And you need to you should replace that lower seal. And the rebuild kit doesn't come with the little Teflon washer that goes on the back of that either. So you're going to be reusing those. I have given away a large number of S8E shocks. I replaced the seals with an Amazon vendor called Uxell, UXCELL, Uxell, UXL. We'll go with that. And they slow them down, but they don't stop them. So what we're going to do, we're going to find out right now Does it stop them? And we're going to do it pseudo-scientifically because we are creators and purveyors of pseudoscience. So what we're going to do is, you note, 2 element grays and 2 element blues on those 4 freshly built factory team S8Es. And this is an element Zool. This is an RTR Zool. And the sum total of changes on this RTR Zool is it had a Fusion 1200 installed. It's got SSD knuckle weights. And the screws have been replaced with stainless steel. But like geometry-wise, fitting-wise, all of that wise, this is just an element Zool. It does not run general grabbers. It runs KLR V2s, Not6 Voodoo KLR V2s, with Canyon Custom, feels like Canyon Customs. This thing's been in a river, so it's kind of hard to see. Yes, Canyon Custom softs in there. The tires are. The tires are insignificant to what we're doing. 2 blue bands, 2 gray bands, battery tray, Z2203S, the Apparatus Junior for Dana the Zool. Apparatus Junior. We're going to take those 4 shocks off, which are factory teams, which we've had absolutely. Look at that. I've not refilled these. These are the RTR shocks. They feel every bit as good as those, but they give them to you with the vehicle. And guess what they don't do? Well, they don't leak. If we look at the top of that spring cup, it's bone dry. Not a speck of oil on it. How about this one? It's bone dry. Not a speck of oil on it. All 4 of them look exactly the same. And this, as I mentioned, it's still full of... It's got foxtails coming out of it. There's gravel in it. This is a trail rig, and trail rigs tend to take more of a beating than rock crawlers do because you don't tend to be... Well, I mean, we can beat up a rock crawler, but trail rigs put a lot of miles down each day they're out on the trails and, by extension, the rocks. So, we're going to take Dana the Zool. We're going to find a screwdriver. Let's go ball end to save us some labors. We'll see if we can get this lower off. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Pull this off. And we are in the upper back. We'll remember that. Or not. Gray band. We're just going to fire these on here, and we're going to see if the spacers accommodate. We should be absolutely fine. We're going to throw these on here, right side up. As one would. And we're going to take this out once I change the other 3, that is. Once I finish changing the 4, we're going to head out to the course, and we're going to go to a little part of the course called Mavericks. We're going to run this around Mavericks. It feels great. It really does! I mean, they're basically indistinguishable in terms of feel. That's a good-looking shock, though. We're going to run this around Mavericks until the battery dies or something interesting happens. So let us get... Oh, yeah, we got power switch. We're good to go. Let's get that up there, and then we'll go like this. Give us something extra to strap down with the overly long battery straps because they assume that we're all going to buy Reedy Power hard cases. Why are the 3D print people not hooking us up with little 3D printed battery trays that fit this location but fit 2200s? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Then we're going to slap wheels back on it. This is the same insert all the way around. Canyon Custom Softs. Again, it's not going to be particularly impactful. And yeah, one could make the argument standing here now and be like, well, you wouldn't put something under this amount of abuse in this short of an... Who says you wouldn't abuse something this fast? Foxtails everywhere. Because that's what we're going to do now. And my background is bashing. That's where I started. Racing and bashing. So why wouldn't we then pick this rig arbitrarily? Not really. This rig already had the GoPro shoe at the front, and I know that an element is reasonably easy to change the shocks on, because here's what we're going to do. This is 100% what I'm going to do. If those shocks have not ejected their life's fluid into the spring cups after running this pack, then those are the shocks. These will go in a bin, and when a build is coming up, we'll put those on that. If they do cough up their guts, and I'm going to be absolutely honest, straightforward, and transparent, the odds are less than 50-50 that this fixes the problem. The chordal dimension on that seal, how thick the donut is relative to how big the hole in the donut is not conducive to performance supreme. That is why I said that this is something that comes from the engineering and design phase. I'm trying to get it without the spacer. So here is the old seal, which is X-ring like. It's not actually round. It's got that X ring to it. But if you note again, the thickness across relative to the hole, and then if you look at, say, the seal from a desert lizard, there's just more seal there. X-ring. We add into the mix a Traxxas X-ring. And you can see there's one seal there that's much smaller than the other two. Like, just look at the amount of vertical differential. So it goes back ultimately to that engineering phase. For whatever reason, they made a seal pocket too shallow and not big enough around when that X-ring goes into a Traxxas GTS, which is ultimately, I would say, the exact same OD. So there were decisions that were made, and I don't know what motivates nor prompts those decisions. But we end up where we end up, and where we've ended up today is hoping that 8 little rings of silicone rubber are gonna make these shocks more gooder, because the performance of them is already... Those feel excellent. But it doesn't matter if they barf all their juices out. So let's hope the overcast holds. Let's go out there and let's run it. I'm not going to set a timer. We're going to go until the battery gets dim or something interesting happens. And then we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at them. And we're going to see. I don't want to see any oil on those spring cups. But I wouldn't bet on it. I do love an overcast. I really do. The sun is it's trying to burn a hole in it. And Mavericks looks particularly off-season today. Pit. We did have some rain, so the teeter... what's the balance on the teeter going to look like? Teeter heavy. Will Dana the Zool be able to overcome the weight of the teeter? That is the question. KLR's doing the thing. This is gonna be tricky for me. I don't I'm not used to this mode of operation. Through the skewers, no problem. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. S8Es feel phenomenal. But my God, do they leak. They leak as bad, if not worse. I mean, everything other than axials, maybe. Need to swing that a little wider on the entry. Come through here. See why we picked Mavericks? You can get an afternoon of suspension use from about 5 minutes out here. Can we break it down? Off the end? Whoo, it's gonna be a tricky one. There we go. Through the pit of the dead. Very good. We don't have to worry about, it's not about speed. It's about getting that suspension in action. We come back around again. For those unfamiliar, for those who are only here for the S8E content, I was at just prior to Thanksgiving 2024, we're at a lovely little restaurant, and we've been cord cutters for a long time. Haven't had cable TV in many moons. There was a TV on, not showing a foosball game, amazingly. No, foosball is the devil. It wasn't showing foosball. Let's go this way. I'm allowed to do this. It was showing a thing that I'd never seen before. Men on motorcycles were in a stadium, driving on the most insane course I'd ever seen. There were telephone poles driven into the ground that they had to like weave in between like evil trees. There were they had to drive over big logs. It was crazy. And it turns out it's a thing called endurocross. And I thought to myself, I think I can build that. I think I can build that. So me and my youngest, we came out here on that very Thanksgiving weekend, starting on Black Friday and continuing on over the course of about 3 days. And there have been additions. You know, when we first built Mavericks, it didn't have the step up, and it is named Mavericks for a couple of reasons. Mavericks, the beach with the big waves in Hawaii, and it was on, the Endurocross was on Mav TV. So Mavericks, so it became. It did not have the step up here. The step up was built a few months later. That is all dirt fill. But all of this stuff, the skewers and the little hop over and the pile of rocks and the original teeter-totter, that is basically, that's teeter version 3.0 or so, because, well, the first one was made entirely out of scraps and it died. It basically died. A vehicle here named the Vanimal during a Crawlympics event. It came slamming down and it just came apart. So I rebuilt it better and stronger. There's some IKEA shelving in there, some metal shelves from IKEA. There is one of those non-slip. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, you've probably walked on one of those before, because we wanted something that would be grippy in all weathers. Yes, those are, if you're questioning yourself, those are foam inserts dipped in concrete without aggregate. So just Portland and sand, and then dipped in there, and it makes those very hard donuts. And then the portion over here, this was all added later, and this is basically Mavericks in its near final form. We're constantly making little tweaks and adjustments. Gonna have to give it a little help. So it's a little waterlogged. You can hear that thing come slamming back down on the ground. In the summer months, when it is much drier, it's a lot more consistent in its operation. Like I said, we don't need to be out here all day. We just need to run it. That's a little far out. We ordinarily run this timed. I'm not concerned. Ooh, a little. It's just that of all the places out here that we have to brutally beat on things, Mavericks is that. And KLR V2s, they'll go most anywhere. I genuinely, and I mean this, I want those spring cups, which are brand new rod ends, brand new spring cups. I think the springs have been lightly used. I don't typically have a use for those for the blue band element springs, which are north of 3 pounds an inch. But Dana the Zool has the factory trailing arms, so you can run that heavier spring. Damping rate feels great. Low C40 feels like it was a strong choice. I'm definitely better at this from this side. I had a longer drop on the camera, which made it a bit more comfortable, but the microphone was not cooperating. So we got to be able to hear it. This is honestly also, Mavericks is just a good time. It is filled Scooby-Doo style with tricks and traps, and around again. There's a little something for everybody. And I handed a control. My wife has indeed driven a rig around this, and she was getting a little hung up. And she was like, "Why do I keep getting stuck?" She's like, "You don't get stuck." She was watching a video. I made her come out here and do it because she was watching me edit a video where I was driving around this very course, and she was like, "You should have made that more difficult. Like that looks too easy." And I said, "Well, that's a thing, right? Like you see a rollerblader on rollerblades, and they're doing that thing where they like, I don't know, their legs look like magical scissors, just like twirling around, and they're going so fast. They make that look real easy." And I'm not saying that I'm a rollerblader making it look real easy. I'm saying that I've driven around this more times than I can conceivably think of. At the very least, in the hundreds, probably 1,000 times. Have I ever driven Dana the Zool around this? I have not. This is our first time together. Dana Zool has never been fitted with S8Es either. The weight of this is a little bit, I don't know, inside of the elbow focused. That's where I'm feeling the weight of Apparatus Junior. And yes, it was specifically built to be run in this direction. The teeter-totter basically makes it so you can't run it the other way. And I've been trying to think, is there a way to quick swap the weight there is indeed underneath the teeter? There's a tiny 2.5 pound weight plate on one side. Because when we went through the iterations of building the teeter, we tried having the pivot axle off center. Doesn't work. Has to be right in the middle, and then you have to weight the teeter in such a way that the vehicle can actuate it. And it's a difficult, no pun intended, balance, because the rigs tend to be 5, 6, 7 pounds. The teeter in its entirety, you got this. The teeter in its entirety is well north of 100 pounds. It's probably, in its waterlogged state, 130 pounds. It takes 2 people to move it. So even just this part, as you can see, those are 10-foot 2x4s that have been cut. And then there's the metal so that it doesn't rot out. And that is a 3/4 inch, formerly the axle of my dump trailer. But then I changed the wheels to run flats and I needed a longer axle. So that's the axle from a dump trailer. So it should be able to handle it. And the beauty of Mavericks is it's much like any crawling course, only the time component looms heavier. Because as I said, we ordinarily run it timed. Because there's so many opportunities to make a mistake. Something has been sitting up on the post right there that has the lights and just pooping. Just poop. Well, I mean, we are under a tree. We're definitely under a tree. But something has been doing its business. This is honestly, when the competitive timed runs are done here, you walk around the course, you circumnavigate, and so as to stay out of the cameras. 4 cameras. We have to use 4 cameras to do this. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest about it. I mean, I am wearing Hey Dudes, which is probably not smart. But this is not appreciably any easier than circumnavigating it. I don't know if we're gonna. Okay, we're gonna try to get one clean off here. Like, look at it. Oh, there we go. The slow down. Ah! Honestly, so far, the tire pit, the island of misfit tires, it actually helps. It doubly helps today because we are, you can tell by the ground, we are reasonably close to post-rain, and that's just mucky in the bottom of that. And I've been collecting all of those misfit tires now for a little while. I mean, here is the skewers bear all of the misfit tires originally. There's some Chanmus down there, fake KLRs. Ooh, that fake KLR is, look at the sidewall of this boy. Fake 2.2 ruptures. Basically, if you see a tire out here, there's the fake KLR V1s right there. If there's a tire out here, fake Swampies, fake Traps, you don't want it. Any tire that makes it out here, you don't want. I see some G-Mades, either 1902s, 1901s, 1902s. 1903s are reasonably usable. 1904s and 1905s are functional. Out here in the tumble pit, Too many to name. I know the fake deep woods are in there. Sun's breaking out on me. Portals would be helpful right about there. This is where I tried to fall down on the last trip around. We're gonna try to avoid it. I'm the first to admit I'm looking at too many things at once. Oop. And go. If you want to torture a shock, that's a good start. I think there's another set of fake ruptures in there. Those might be the fake 1.9s. I see, oh yeah, hellhounds, which are fake deep woods. I see another set of fake treps. Those fake treps might actually be the stock, like whatever the red cat is calling those tires. MT something. Life is absolutely too short. Like, you know he's got it. In competition, we do hands-free. Basically, if a rig needs to be self-righted, its time is over. It's not going to post anything respectable. But if you get high-centered or bellied up or bound up inside the skewers right here, it's up to the rig to find its way out. Zool doing okay. And I keep, I'm trying not to fall into the path of the insane. So what I'm trying to do is not do that. There's the shark fin right there. And then when we come around here, I am trying not to get stuck right all the fault of the guy who glued the stuff together. He didn't want it to be too easy, and he definitely got his wish. Are you gonna go? How much further? How much further? Then once it starts dropping, what you do is you come back like that. Yeah, wet weather, the teeter is rude. Through the loose stuff, shooting around. Rawr. Okay, now we're gonna go a little Senna, and we're gonna try to focus. Let's pretend that this time counted. Wide back. Watch out for the shark's tooth. Come around and up, little back, boom. There, over. Come around. We want to hook it as wide as we can so that we only bounce it off once. We're going to take a time penalty here. Oop, get it over. Try to back it up, can't. You got to adapt to the course, man. If it's raining out, you put your rain tires on and you deal with it. It is reasonably, if not particularly easy, to self-right out here because there's very little in the way of smooth sections. I was not amazed by my performance. For someone who's done it as many times as I have, That was a little shot wide. Also, there's no need to penalty. Like, I thought about building higher walls between the course sections instead of just the pipes. And then I was like, I'm not sure it matters, because when you run wide and you get out over the pipes, stuff like that happens. You can't earn those seconds back. No matter how fast you go, it's almost impossible to recoup not moving. Nice. Well done. Yes, and no. So many opportunities to mess up. Ooh, cut it a little too tight. Ba, ba, da, ba. I fall victim to a great many things, and one of the things that I frequently fall victim to is looking too far ahead on the course. We're going outside the shark to see if it works. Is this going to pay off? Very nearly. Very nearly. I don't fault the performance of the S8E at all. You just need to hold oil. And it would be really nice if Vanquish could take an additional step and acknowledge that it was basically like they knew, right? They leak. Fix it. Even if it's just sending us baggies with 16 little O-rings in them, and we'll just reuse all the other pieces, you know? If these seals fix the problem, then let us have those. I know, it's a business. You got to keep the lights on. You got to do all the things that are business-like. But on the other hand, maybe, just maybe, follow me here, maybe don't keep selling us shocks that you know leak. Oh, my battery. My battery. Good old GoPro. When this battery, when the little indicator turns red, that will be the interesting thing that has happened. Uh-oh. Out! Oh, that's the first. I got nice and mired up in there. Every day with a GoPro is an absolute trip into the unknown. The sun is breaking through. It's going to bring its shadows with it. Bow, bow, bow. Yeah. I'm gonna call, like, we should come around. Yeah, I'm watching my timer, trying to figure out what my lap times are looking like. I'll be able to tell in the edit. I mean, I'll be able to get a lap count too. Oh, real bad. They can't all be perfect, much as we wish. Uh-oh. That's too far. Oh, no. Came out all right. Sometimes it works out okay. Oh, brought a tire with us. Had one tucked up under the fender. Our first off course. Again, no hands. Back on. Had to self-right her once. All right. We'll call that one white flag, which I realize is an American thing. I found this out very recently. That it's basically NASCAR and IndyCar, where white flag means the bell lap, the final lap, or the next to the last lap. The penultimate. Go inside on this one. Whew. Wish I'd had a slipper clutch right there. I heard a distinct grunt. I have not once. Okay, I'm gonna go real slow. I'm trying to figure. No. I have her endpoints set a little more conservatively than I would on, say, an SE. The in-house SE baseline is who set this up. I like the loose pit of loose tires. Every time I keep looking down, I'm like, might as well just do another one. All right, yeah, that was this is video gamer stuff right here. One more, just one more. We'll call it after one more. This tires are very wet. When we done, you know what? It might have been solved for us. We were waiting for something interesting to happen. We got real souped up when we were upside down in there. So let us instead. We did say it was going to be the last one, and then we kept trying to go. Let us head back to the bench, and let's take a little quick analysis. Did $16 worth of new seals fix the problem? And honestly, I really hope that it did. So we will find out together. I haven't even turned off the the apparatus is still in full force, despite that battery looking a little long in the tooth right now. Dry. Now, there are a little bit. Got a little. It's not hot, but it's warmer than the environment, so we can feel the warmth. I definitely touched something greasy, or is that leafy? Oh, that's just a really, really gross leaf. I need a little more light. Excellent. There's a little bit out on that one. Like I see, there's a little bit of crust on that one. Man, he kept that foxtail the whole way. But other than that, this is the kind of outcome that I want. This is the outcome I want to see. Do the new, and I ordered these directly from Vanquish because I wanted to make sure that $16, two $8 bags didn't show up at the house with the same clear seals in them that, don't work. So yeah, do they stop them from leaking? Conditionally. Like, is it a home run? No. It would be a home run if they were like, email us a copy of your purchase receipt, like from A-Main or Vanquish or wherever you bought it from, for whatever it is, your VRD Carbon, your Phoenix, your Fordyce, your Optic, whatever it is, and we will send you a bag with 16 O-rings in it. That would be an absolute win, even if they did it for like 30 days. Am I happy about $16 to stop these shocks from leaking when they shouldn't have leaked in the first place? No. Now, all 4 of them, no, he's okay. Gloop. Gloop. Now, that is fine. That's absolutely fine. Coming out around the, leaking out around the cap, particularly on shocks with bleeder screws, you put a little Teflon paste on them, or, you know, you put the fresh O-ring on, and I didn't. So those O-rings at the top have been used before. I'm not docking points for that. S8Es leaked from every pore, and now these didn't. Now, as I mentioned at the initiation of this is one of the members of the Canyon trailing fleet. So Dana the Zool, there is no Dana, only Zool, typically goes out for, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours, and is typically running one of these 4200s up front instead of that 2200. So we will find out in something approximating short order. Now we're turning it off. Has it fixed it? And, you know, I don't want to say that I'm overly hopeful, but I kind of am. Am I absolutely chuffed about $16? No. But sometimes it is what it is. And on this day, in this moment, that was what it was. Thanks so much, everybody. S8Es, did they fix it? It sure looks like they did. Am I happy about $16? No. But I have like 5 sets of S8Es, which means, you know, $80. Do I want to spend $80 on seals to fix the remaining sets? There's a part of me that's like, no, I kind of don't. I will most likely reseal the hard anno-bodied ones, and the rest will continue to lay in the drawer where they've lain, and the elements will go in the element drawer. And next time we're putting something together, we've got an excellent set of shocks that we know for a fact doesn't leak, but it saves. Why did I really want this to work? Because the S8E is a good shock. They feel good. I don't like shocks that leak. This makes me, what is it called? There's a term for it where you're happy and sad at the same time. I'm happy that they fixed it. Oh, that clip definitely fell off. I'm happy that they fixed it. I'm sad that it's $16 plus shipping to do it. So, as many grains of salt as you need, particularly when you can get, you know, this is a different length and everything, but I've gotten full sets of 4 off of these on Amazon with springs and cups for $10. So, you know, your mileage may and will obviously vary. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for joining me in an unconventional one here in the Canyon. I look forward to seeing you in whatever we have coming up next. And in between now and then, please, one and all, do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the Canyon with some other thing. Hey, S8Es. I have a set of S8Es, and they don't leak. At least for now, they don't leak. And sometimes that feels like enough.